Hello friends, welcome back to Zero to Tech. No theory, no noise, just real skills. Let's begin. So today we'll be covering the third room in this TryHackMe series of Web Fundamentals. So let's get into the room straight away. To exploit a website, you first need to know how they are created. Okay, so we'll be studying about websites today. Okay, you can see a beautiful animation over here right now. So by the end of this room, you will know how websites are created and will be introduced to some basic security issues, right? When you visit a website, your browser like Safari or Google Chrome, so right now I'm using Google Chrome, makes a request to the web server asking for information about the page you are visiting, right? It will respond with data that your browser uses to show you the page. A web server is just a dedicated computer somewhere else in the world that handles your request, right? So a server is basically a computer that is turned on 24 into 7 that accepts requests from your browser and then responds you. That's why you found the websites 24 into 7 active, right? So if you open a website in the mid of a night, you will see it's opening. If you turn on a website at the early morning, you will see you'll find it opening, you know. So it's because that the computer which is holding the files, the HTML file, the CSS file of the website is constantly on 24 into 7, and that is called the server, right? That is what it is telling here. Now, there are two major components that make up a website: front end, back end. The way your browser renders a website, that is front end. Back end is a server that processes your request and returns a response. Okay, so in front end we can say HTML and CSS. These are the front end parts that browser renders. Okay, and backend side includes Node.js and Express. We use these languages to write, request and responses. The one that we read earlier, the get responses, set responses, right? So those are web requests, and those are the backend side. And database is also kind of backend, right? Okay, so now let's answer the question. What term best describes the component of a web application rendered by your browser? Okay, I guess it's front end because rendered by your browser. My browser renders a website, right? Okay. Now, second task, HTML. Websites are primarily created using HTML to build websites and define their structure, CSS to maintain websites, look pretty by adding style options, JavaScript implement complex features on page using interactivities. Hypertext markup language HTML is the language websites are written in. Elements are the building blocks of HTML pages that tells the browser how to display the content. The code snippet below shows a simple HTML document, the structure of which is same for every website, right? So I hope you have written HTML pages earlier. If you haven't, I suggest you to please go and learn HTML and CSS and then come to cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is like a middle stuff that you can study, but before that you need to know the basics, right? So you have to study development, you have to study networking, you have to study Linux, and so that your base is concrete, right, solid. And after that you can study cybersecurity. It will be easier for you. All right, so for now you can just continue. The HTML structure as shown in the screenshot has the following components. The doc type HTML defines the page is a HTML5 document. This helps with standardization across different browsers and tell the browser to use HTML5 to interpret the page. The HTML element is the root element of the HTML page. All other elements come after this element. Head. This element contains information about the page, such as page title. Body. Element defines the HTML document's body. Only content inside of the body is shown in the browser. The H1 element defines a large heading. The P element defines a paragraph. There are many other elements used for different purposes. For example, there are tags for button, images, list, and much more, right? Okay. Tags contain attributes such as class attributes which can be used to style an element. or the src attribute, which is used on images to specify the location of an image. So you can also use images on html. An element can have multiple attributes which with its unique purpose. Example, attribute 1, value 1, attribute 2, value 2. Elements can also have an ID attribute, PID equals to example, which is unique to the element. Unlike the class attribute where multiple elements can use the same class, an element must have different IDs to identify them uniquely. Element IDs are used for styling and to identify it by JavaScript. Okay. So you guys need to learn JavaScript first to understand this part of the room, and if you have understood this part without doing HTML, then you guys are really talented, you know. I mean it. Anyways, so you can view the HTML of any website by right clicking and selecting view page source, Chrome, show page source, Safari. Okay. Let's solve these questions. Let's play with some HTML. First, click the view side button on this task. On the right hand side, you should see a box that renders HTML. If you enter some HTML into the box and click green render HTML code button, it will render your HTML on the page. You should see an image of some cats, right? Okay. You can see over here, all they are saying is that this is HTML code and this is the rendered cat image and the website that this HTML has rendered for you. Okay, next question. One of the images on the cat is broken. You can see this is a cat image, but this is a broken image, you know. You see this placeholder over here. The image will reveal the hidden text answer, right? So we have to fix this image, and I guess this is the broken image over here, and this is because cat2.jpg is not written. JPG is important. It's an extension, image extension. We can click on render, and there you go, HTML hero. Okay, add a dog image to the page by adding another img tag on line 11. The dog image location is img dog1.png. So what I will be doing is just copy this part, paste this. Okay, something extra came up over here, and now I'll copy this one. Remember not to copy the last dot, just copy this thing and this. My bad. Yep. Now just render it, and the dog HTML is here, right? Dog HTML. Okay, on to the next task. JavaScript is one of the most popular coding languages in the world and allows pages to become interactive. HTML is used to create the website structure and content, while JavaScript is used to control the functionality of web pages. Without JavaScript, a page would not have interactive elements and would always be static. JavaScript can dynamically update the page in real time, giving functionality to change the style of a button when a particular event on the page occurs, such as when a user clicks a button or to display moving animations. So these web pages nowadays is fully controlled by JavaScript. You know, I'm clicking this button, I'm clicking this check button, I'm clicking this hint button. These are all controlled by JavaScript. The website, how does the website know that I'm clicking this? That's because JavaScript is watching over us, right? JavaScript is added within the page source and can either loaded within script tags or can be included remotely with the src attribute, that is source attribute, script src and the location of the JavaScript file, and that's where the JavaScript code is written, right? The following JavaScript code finds the HTML element on the page with the ID of demo and changes the element's content to hack the planet. And this is a JavaScript code. You can read it. I hope you'll not get it if you don't know JavaScript, but I suggest you to go and read JavaScript, or you can even watch lectures on YouTube. There are a lot of JavaScript lectures available on YouTube, even in English, even in Hindi, even in Bengali. You know, you'll find it, right? Just search for it. Okay. So HTML elements can also have events such as on click or on hover that execute JavaScript when the event occurs. That was what I was telling you, right? This on-click event in JavaScript allows us to view over the user what the user is doing, if the user is clicking on a button or is it not, right? And based on that, we can do some actions on the web browser. Okay, So the following code changes the text of the element with the demo ID to button clicked. Button clicked, this is the code. I'm not going to read it. On click events can also be defined inside the JavaScript stacks and not on elements directly. Click on the view side button on the task, right hand side, JavaScript changes the demo element content to hack the box. Okay, so demo, change this to hack the box, right? Just change it to hack, not hack the box, sorry, hack the planet. I'm too much obsessed with hack the box actually. And let's render it. It says hi there. Copy it, paste it, check it. It's wrong. What did they say? Add JavaScript that changes the demo elements content to hack the planet. I did it, right? What is the hint is saying? Add your JavaScript to line 9 and click the render HTML plus JS button. Okay, I guess I need to change this to hack the planet because this says that I need to change the elements content, not the elements ID. I changed it to elements ID. My mistake. The T will be small and I'll click on render. There you go. There's a flag. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it, and there we go. We have a correct answer over here. And then add the button HTML from this task that changes the elements button to button clicked, and write and upload the code. You're gonna practice this on your own. This is just for your purpose, and this does not need any answer, so I'm gonna skip this. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Sensitive data exposure. Sensitive data exposure occurs when a website doesn't properly protect or remove sensitive clear text information to the end user, usually found in a site's front-end source code. We now know that the websites are built using HTML tags, all of which can we simply see by viewing the page source. HTML developer may have forgotten to remove login credentials, hidden links to private parts of the website, or other sensitive data is shown in the HTML or JavaScript, right? So even in TryHackMe, this website, we can do Control and U, and we can see this is the HTML code of this TryHackMe page that we were reading right now. So this is the thing. Okay, so where are we? Sensitive information can potentially leverage to further an attacker's access with different parts of a web application. For example, there could be HTML comments with temporary login credentials, and if you viewed the page source code and found this, you could use these credentials to log in somewhere else on the application, or words you use to access other backend components of the site. Whenever you are accessing a web application for security issues, one of the first things you should do is review the page source code to see if you can find any exposed login credentials or hidden links. Okay, view this website at this link. What is the password in the source code? And click on this. There's a vulnerable website, and we can click on Control U, and from here you can see there's a commented part where we can see there's a password. Open the password, copy the password, paste it over here. That is what they want, and we can click on check. I hope it takes. Yep. Okay, so now the last room, that is not long. Let's complete this and we'll be done for today. So HTML injection is a vulnerability that occurs when unfiltered user input is displayed on the page. If a website fails to sanitize user input, filter any malicious text that a user inputs into a website, and that input is used on the page, an attacker can inject HTML code into a vulnerable website. Okay, so that's dangerous, but I think most of the companies today uh, does this check and they filter this out, so it's not a great vulnerability. But as a cybersecurity enthusiast, we should read about this because there can be vulnerabilities, right? Input sanitization is very important in keeping a website secure, as information a user inputs into a website is often used in other front-end and back-end functionality. Vulnerability you will exploring another lab is database injection, where you can manipulate a database lookup query to log in as another user by controlling the input that's directly used in the query. But for now, let's focus on HTML injection, which is client side. So what they are talking about is SQL injection, that is database injection, which we popularly known as SQL injection. We will read about that later. So let's continue. When a user has control of how their input is displayed, they can submit HTML code, and the browser will use it on the page, allowing the user to control the page's appearance and functionality. Right? So there we go. We have these diagrams to show you. You can read it. You can pause the video. Moving on. So the image above shows how a form output text to the page. Whenever the user inputs into the what's your name field is passed to a JavaScript function and output to the page, which means if the user adds their own HTML or JavaScript in the field, it is used to say hi function and is added to the page. This means you can add your own HTML such as h1 tag, and it will output your input as pure HTML. This general rule is never to trust user input. Sorry, the general rule is never to trust user input. So it's basically talking about the zero trust protocol. We'll study about that later. To prevent malicious input, the website developer should sanitize everything the user enters before using it in the JavaScript function. So before the user's input is directly integrated into the HTML code, it should be sanitized using JavaScript, right? In this case, the developer could remove any HTML tags, okay, from user input, right? Okay, so view the website on this task and inject HTML. I'm fumbling too much today. Inject HTML so that a malicious link to it is shown. Okay. What we have to do is we have to just do this thing over here, and we got this thing, HTML injection. What we did is just basically created a link tag, and then inside it we pasted this link that they provided us with. I clicked on say hi and the code came up. We can paste it over here and click on check, and guys, with that we are done with today's room. I hope you liked it and enjoy it. It was a pretty short yet a pretty informative room. It's taking a lot of time for me and a lot of efforts for me to make these videos for you, so please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you are enjoying my videos. I promise you to keep going like this. Please support me. Please write some comments on how I am doing. If I am making any mistakes, please let me know about that, because feedbacks are very important. You guys are so much talented. I genuinely believe that you guys will be doing good in cybersecurity with me. So please guys, support my work. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a nice day. Take care. Good night. Sayonara.